Alright there, it's that old tight Yorkie, and we actually have a visit from the Chihuahua, see? Yeah, relaxing on my lap. He's not going to be happy in a minute because I've got to sit up to use the keyboard. Alright, TikTok, you want to get down or get up? One way or the other. Because it's time for us and the folks. Let's go back for some more Pathfinder. Wrath of the Righteous. Let's go. Yeah, you can settle down there, that's nice. You're not actually on my keyboard for once, that's a miracle actually. I swear, they talk about cats curling up on your keyboard, this bugger's bad for it. You may see the camera glitching in and out. If you saw the intro video, I said it destroys camera work. Yeah, it does that. Alright, so when last we left it... Hang on. I don't have this on mic, do I? Have it on TV? There we are. When last we left it, we've been knocked out by a lovely little demon lady, and come back up in the tavern here. Let's go see who's about, shall we? Anivia. Hey, wait. Mind if I bend your ear on something? Anivia's outside your door, leaning casually against the shelf. So here's the first and most important thing. Beth gave me a crucial mission. I get that. I know that you'll get the job done. Gave you a crucial mission. I saw you in action. But here's the rub. By sending you out on an errand, we're weakened on our defences here. If they come at us while you're gone, I don't know if we'll be able to fight them off. Seems clear so far. What else do you want to discuss? So, the rift that damned Beetle left with his scythe, yeah, well, it cut the city in two, and it's kinda difficult to get across. My scouts tell me there's a halfway decent place to set up a crossing in Market Square. Not that any of them tried it, to make sure, but if you've got a mind to go across, and I think you're going to have to eventually, you might want to give the square a once-over. When do you think the demons will attack next? Your guess as good as mine. It might not be here. It could even attack the whole damn city. Those vermin know they've lost the upper hand, and that we're going to push back hard. And if things kick off here, you should know. After the attack, some things could be changed beyond recognition. If you've got any business that needs taken care of, you best do it soon. Do you want me to stay and guard the tavern? You what? No! Your task is far too important. You can't just all up here, all cosy like, waiting for demons to knock on your door. You know, if you didn't have a bust ankle and you seem to be standing on it pretty damn well considering, you'd be coming with me. Because you don't need to be hauled up here either. Mind you, you probably want to be with your wife or girlfriend, don't you? But if those freaks try to make a move on this place, Beth will send a runner to you. You're a Beth. You know they're together when she's throwing it to Beth. If that happens, you leg it back here, alright? Because if you don't, you'll be coming back with an ash pile, got it? Thanks for the warning, see you later. Later, watch yourself. Right. Still level 2. 405 left and experience needed. Who's Kiado? Anything? I believe that help is already on the way. Okay. Vasily? A stout old man in a fuzzy grey beard mumbles a prayer. He looks as tired as anyone else in the tavern, but determination is stamped on his haggard face. What can I do for you? Who are you? Vasily Rathimus, rector of the local Temple of Abadar. The temple is gone though, and if we snooze here much longer, the city will be lost as well. Who's that boy with you? This one, Kiado the shepherd, my apprentice. He's a smart boy and his face is strong. He serves there still, though. But there's still something he can learn from an old servant Abadar. He'll be a great cleric when he gets a little older. What kind of help can I expect from you? First, I sell scrolls. I have a lot of them. Something for every emergency. Second, while you're here in the tavern, I can read one for you. Guaranteed, no surprises. You better not go into the city without a cleric. I am a cleric. I won't be going there myself. I'm too old and my powers are needed here. Show me the scrolls you're selling. Alright, whole bunch. I'm not going to worry about them right now. Actually, I could probably sell my stuff to him, couldn't I? Lan! Lan greets you with a nod. Here for a chat. I've been waiting for you to come and see what strange beast you've taken into your party. I'd like to know more about you. Let me guess, your first question is, can you wear a hat with one horn, am I right? You speak common much better than the rest of your tribe. Funnily enough, common isn't all that common underground, Lan says. But your observation is correct. I used to live on the surface with my parents for a while, and had a chance to learn a couple of things. The language, and the fact that every peasant who sees me at my scaling mug screams demon and runs away. I don't know if you're interested, but my mum wasn't from the underground tribe. She was a smuggler, the kind that used the dungeons of Canabres to secretly move and store goods. One time, two gangs couldn't agree on how to share a prime cut. Got into a fight and the winners threw the losers down the hall, dead and living alike. My dad went to check if the cops had anything useful on them, and he found a girl from the surface, barely clinging to life. An incredible feeling sparked between them. What do they call it? Hero syndrome, something like that. Rescue syndrome, whatever. Or maybe the girl just liked men with scales and a cat nose. That might be it. One way or another, he got her back on her feet, and he left his home caves. She left her smuggling behind and began an honest life together. That's the delightful story of how all land came into this world. The next chapter, however, my family and I could never stayed in one place for too long. We lived sometimes on the surface, sometimes underground. We couldn't find a place to call home. Living in the caves was hard on my mum. My dad's appearance raised too many questions in Mendev. They're at war against the demons, after all. In the end, my parents decided to stop making each other miserable and separated. My father and I returned to to our tribe. I think the peasants screaming demon had something to do with it. Let's step away from the vehicle. No, I mean from the camera. Or maybe my dad just couldn't stand life without rat tail soup. I wouldn't rule it out as a possibility. Did you come with me so you could see the surface again? No, that wasn't it. I just don't have much patience for certain types of creatures. Demons, I mean. If they want to destroy Canabres, I'll be on the side of the people who are attacking. Lan looks away. Lan, you're my companion. No. I don't like it when my subordinates hide things from me. Lan doesn't seem bothered by the threat, he shrugs. It wasn't a threat, it was just a statement. It's not a secret or anything, just some private emotions and things that don't matter to anyone beside me. But if you want to listen, be my guest. My birth? Hell. TikTok, you're kind of destroying the camera work right now. Not to worry. My birth? Hell, take me. It turned out to be the greatest misfortune for my parents, all because I'm relatively healthy. And the best thing that can come from a marriage between a cave-dwelling mongrel and anyone from the surface. A healthy child with the right number of hands and feet, no apparent defects, no missing organs or other problems. They saw hope in me, so risked having more children. Thought it would somehow be alright. A growl edges into Lan's voice. I could have had 4 brothers. The first was born 2 years after me, and died 3 years later. He didn't have a nose. Nothing even remotely resembling one. All he could do was breathe through his mouth. Mum and Dad were afraid to take their eyes off him for fear he'd choke and suffocate on something, but in the end it was his heart that killed him. Then there was another pregnancy, and birth. I pretended I was sleeping, but snuck out of my room and listened through the door. All those hours, it was very strange. But I never heard the newborn screaming. Mum moaning, yes. The priest praying. Then I dared to open the door and looked inside. The priest stood there, very pale. One of them was holding something, a small object that fit in his palm. He asked, "Do you know what this is?" And the other said, "I think it's a head." I like to get a head now and then. Please go on. Probably not like that, though. Lan pauses, exhales, and continues in a steadier voice. Turns out that this time Mum was expecting triplets. The first of the babies was born in pieces, and the other 2 didn't live long enough to draw their first breath. About 3 weeks later, my father took me to the caves. He didn't want to leave. I could see it in his face. But I think my mum and he decided it together. The curse my people have carried since the first crusade stood between them. Not to mention the 4 dead babies. And old age was rapidly taking its toll on my father. After we returned to the cave, he only lived another 4 years. So, if you're asking me why I decided to go up with you to the surface and join the Crusades, well, the answer is, I've always wanted to. I was afraid to leave my tribe, but it always haunted me that I'd die in a world where the 4 Crusades could do nothing to stop the beasts of the abyss, and the number of victims kept growing. I wanted to change that, or at least try to. And if changing things is too much to ask, then at least get a little revenge. The ones who are behind the world wound owe me a great debt. The lives of 4 brothers, all my mother's tears, my father's broken heart. It's a lot. It's so much that killing a couple of demons won't do it for me. I want to do something real, and I'm ready to pay the price. Call it a personal crusade if you like. Land gives you a slanted grin. I used to think that things would be better if I'd never been born. No, I think I was born to do this, to settle the score. Why didn't you go up and join the Crusaders before? I couldn't just abandon my tribe. Well, you did now. I'm their best hunter, and they don't have you now, do they? They'll have it much harder without me, but now that the demons have nearly destroyed Canabret, fair enough, and the caves almost collapsed on our heads, sitting and waiting it out just wasn't an option anymore. Anyway, I'm more useful up here than I am down there. Plus the chief let me go, which means my debt to the tribe has been paid. Would you like to find your mother? No. The word flies from Lan's mouth faster than an arrow. Then, after a pause, he continues. I don't want to meet her, not because I feel any resentment. It's just that she's half-elf. She's barely got her first grey hair, and I'll be a ramshackle old man. She's buried enough children. There's no need to make her witness the death of another one. I hope you understand. Yeah, but I think you need to grow up. That's for her to decide. I am very... well, I mean, it's up to you to decide if you want to know her, but trying to save her from what she'll go through by knowing you, that's up to her to decide. I'm very sorry, truly. Your parents' love didn't survive hardship, but that doesn't mean the same thing will happen to you. What if you find true love with someone? And break my beloved heart? Yeah, you definitely need to grow up. Look, both the women have been married to my late wife and my wife. How serious disabilities, I pretty much knew I would outlive my first wife. Might outlive my second. Doesn't mean I didn't love them. Doesn't mean I'd sacrifice being with them for that. Grow the hell up, Lan. You're a baby. That's a fine thing to do to the person you love. Then again, there's a chance he'll inspire some tragic bard to write a tearful ballad. Thanks for sharing, Lan. Yeah, grow up. I don't need your story again. You're an infant. Mongrels have short lifespan. I mean, I get why you're hurting, but you're a bloody infant, Lan. You need to grow up. Especially if you've got a short life. Live it. Mongrels have short lifespans, but you don't look like you're getting old or dying. How old are you? Lan chuckles. I'm as old as I look. No surprise there. Remember Sol? He's 10 years older than me. I remember him back when he was a fearless warrior, and day by day watch him turning into an old man. Hey man, my father. It happens very quickly. First you miss a shot because you don't see the target as clearly as you used to. You think it's because your eyes are tired. You tell yourself it'll get better tomorrow. Then you notice you're having trouble breathing and that climbing is harder than before. Lan clenches and unclenches his human fist. Your fingers stop bending. You have to tie your sword to your hand. Damn near sounds like rheumatoid arthritis, honestly. And certain other things. TikTok, I don't think they want to look at your butt. Come on, away. You can't even put on your greaves without help. When you're washing your face in a stream, sometimes you catch sight of a grey old head, wrinkled old man you don't recognise. And this goes on until one day you come across a cave beast and you realise you can't outrun it. Lan takes a breath. My dad kept diaries, marking all the signs, and I saw it too, the last year. I had to help him get out of bed, help him dress, remind him to eat. Sometimes he forgot my name. I told him that we should have stayed on the surface, and he joked that dodging a goddess was behaviour unworthy of a crusader. He meant for asthma. Every morning, I wake up and check how I feel. But there is no signs yet. Even so, I know I don't have much time. I need to do something useful before I forget why I came here. What about Wendwag? Are you sure? Tell me about your connection to Wendwag. My connection to Wenderwag? I mean, where do I start? Lan turns the unexpressive reptile half of his face to you. We grew up together, trained together. She was the chief's daughter. She was groomed to be the best all her life, and then I came along. We were rivals, but we dragged each other out of tight spots too. I've always been drawn to grand heroic gestures, sometimes idiotic ones, whereas Wendu liked to roam unexplored passages, finding new caves and making maps. She wanted to be a great huntress, the one who'd make it through the shield maze, but instead she... Landshake said it'd be better if she'd died. The death of a friend is painful, but watching a friend become a shadow of their former self is unbearable. She doesn't think she's a shadow of her former self, of course. She thinks she did everything right, because the second she starts to doubt herself, she'll have to face the truth. To admit that she's just a cannibal that demons use as they wish. Lan's frown looks almost like a wince. She wants to get stronger and stronger, but for what? I'll never understand what drives her. Were you just friends, or were you more than that? Wow, you really don't pull punches, do you? Lan exhales loudly. There was a time when I asked myself the same question. Wenderwag knew me better than anyone. She understood me better than anyone. She was my first woman. But we never loved each other, so friends with benefits then. Maybe I could have grown to love her, but it always seemed like she never understood what love was. Maybe she just wasn't capable of those kind of feelings. Thanks a lot, found everything I need. So can you wear a hat with... Let's see what he responds. Sure I can, but certain designs don't suit me well. Deadly serious voice about it. Found out everything, goodbye. Can ask about his people. Alright. Of course, what would you like to know? What's it like living in the caves? Oh, Lan gives you a broad smile. His smile is strange, as if it falters where his human features meet his animal ones. Imagine that in the entire world there's only a few hundred like you. There's not an inch of fertile ground anywhere. Nowhere to grow grain for bread, or cotton and linen for cloth. Your neighbours are beasts who want to eat you, or parasites who want to infect you with their larvae, and then eat you. And it's not that bad, because you can try and eat most of the things that are trying to eat you. Sometimes at the risk of getting poisoned, sometimes with almost no risk at all. In the worst years, there's not a single living thing anywhere to be found, predator or prey. That's when you eat mushroom soup. Well, mushrooms are living, dude. But I think I know what you mean. I'd say 3 times a day, but there was barely enough for once every 3 days, Lan shrugs. But life underground has its upside. Pun intended. There's no risk of losing the roof over your head. Until now. There's no bad weather, not counting the earthquakes, of course. I think I'm done. I don't want to dwell on every possible piece of background. I might check into some of it later. Let's see. Indara, who are you? An imposing young Hothead is surrounded by a crowd of crusaders who are hanging on her every word. I hope this example clearly illustrates the difference between Jitska legionaries and the world from the last war and the crusaders. The perfection of form and spirit they were imbued with during creation turned them into parts of a well-balanced war machine, not a ragtag bunch of individuals, but a united whole. Oh. Douchebag! Now tell me again, why am I supposed to be impressed with your reckless assaults, where everyone is fighting for their ego and for the right to beat their peers to a swift but pointless heroic sacrifice? Some of the crusaders grumble unhappily, but it's clear that they're captivated by the woman's words. The only exception is a scraggly and dishevelled halfling monk, whose puffy black eyes give him away as a brawler and troublemaker. He enthusiastically pushes forward and tries to engage, but one of his friends swiftly jabs him in the back with an elbow. It looks like we got ourselves a student of warfare. The woman gives you a suspicious look and raises an eyebrow. Were you always meant to recognise my achievements? Or to start a fight the way Mendevian crusaders usually do? One of the crusaders angrily curls his fists tightly and retorts with a burst of passion. If those gists of yours or whatever had come for us, we'd have their guts for garters. You think we've never fought a mighty adversary before? The soldier's stern facade cannot fully conceal his relish. He clearly plans to enjoy this confrontation. The crusaders around him look upon their exotic opponent with a mixture of irritation and piqued interest. The woman chuckles before getting off her interlocutor. Cutting off her interlocutor. I would love to see you storm a 60-foot tall walking castle shaped like a giant elephant that carries siege fortifications on its back. And I'll have you know these fortifications were defended by Jitskan priest craftsmen, armed with demon-bound war machines. They use the enemies you cannot defeat as mindless weapons. They used the enemies you cannot defeat, huh? Okay, so they used them. Okay, I get it. So those that they could not defeat, they used as mindless weapons. Okay. The woman gives the people around her a triumphant look and adjusts her hair with a pointed nonchalance. Her voice takes a lecturer's tone. You should not argue with someone who happens to be the most authoritative researcher on the history of warfare, 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. The woman looks at you and flashes an amused smile. The lecture is over. Do my esteemed listeners have any questions? Who are you? I'm Indara, a warrior, magus, and scholar of classical warfare from Garund. The woman peers at you apprehensively, then sighs. I admit that I'm mildly offended by the fact that my name is entirely unfamiliar to you, but I'm willing to accept that this is due to Avistan's isolation from the sophisticated culture of the world at large. I've come a long way to be here. I like to think of myself as an inhabitant of Golarion, and I don't narrowly identify with any country in particular. Why'd you come here? To witness a legendary war. You just want to witness and talk about it here. No action, is that it? The confrontations between denizens of a plain famous for its love of violence and crusaders from every continent united by the common goal of defending their home. An epic struggle of colossal proportions that hasn't been particularly epic so far, truth be told. The monk with a black eye grins and mutters under his breath, maybe she just can't see it from here. The view will get way more epic if she stops hiding among us and takes a walk outside. The woman smirks contemptuously. She does not deem the monk's words worthy of comment. The Crusaders are doing a commendable job at resisting the demons. Oh yes, and the situation we found ourselves in can attest to that. But then again, demons are no better. Their preferred strategy also involves brute strength, mindless assault, and unfounded confidence in their superiority. Why don't you join the Crusaders and show them how fighting should be done? No, I'm a historian, an analyst, and a theorist. You said you were a warrior. Do you know what these three words have in common? They describe a mortal woman who does not participate in conflict. You said you were a warrior! Upon which her thesis will be founded. But then again, I will hardly be able to describe this mess as anything other than a feeble likeness of the last war of Justka. The monk with a damaged eye grins slyly and comments, the more dangerous the upcoming scuffle is, the more motivated we are to find clever and pretty words to justify not actually doing the fighting. Has a point now, doesn't he? What is this last war you mentioned? The last war of Justka, a large-scale conflict that took place 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. So you're living on past glories. Okay, got it. Living in past glories and not capable of doing anything yourself. Got it. It was a war with the Orisian Pharaoh and Forgotten Plagues. The war that ended the legendary Justka Imperium. An epic struggle that became the most vibrant page in military history. Alas, all conflicts that followed it were but pale shadow, including this one I'm witnessing here. Why do you find the last war so inspiring? Imagine legions of golems imbued with extraplanar spirits, marching into the battle. Imagine flying cities that swoop out of the clouds like terrifying monstrous birds of prey to drop forces on top of the enemy castles. Picture gigantic mechanisms powered by captive and very angry demons and devils. Imagine standing in the warpath of a walking citadel, or having to cover your ears to block out the sound of cannons loaded with shrieking elementals. Finally, imagine the ultimate weapon that defeated the Justka, the deadly night plague. This affliction was an attack dog, a trained epidemic, a tamed pestilence, striking only those who its master wanted to kill. Imagine all these terrors, and understand that no flight of fancy can even come close to the horror of the nightmares that they made real. How do you know about it? I can say without false modesty there is no more authoritative research on Galarian when it comes to the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. I've dedicated my whole life to this subject. I personally visited all battlefields and studied the most mysterious and forbidden archives, containing chronicles of ancient wars, sometimes risking my life in the process. I saw a fallen sky city of the Shori Empire with my own eyes. I ripped out the control crystal from an exterminator class combat golem that guarded a Jiska laboratory with my own hands. These fingers held a glass flask that the servants of Pharaoh Forgotten Plagues used to create the first generation of pestilence that devastated the Jiska Imperium. How do I know so much? I saw and touched everything I'm telling you about. You're wrong to treat the Crusaders with such disdain. Let me explain why. A debate? I'll be happy to prove that the current conflict can't hold a candle to the last war of Jiska. Very well, the last war of Jiska was waged using a significantly greater number of people. Both sides actively relied on reinforcements from allied planes, and their strategic planning was perfected through no fewer than 7 rounds of intensive design. None of the above applies to this war of yours. Compared to the Jiska, we are but stone club-wielding kobolds. I would like to conclude my thesis with a few words of counsel from Dagon, an advisor of the Pharaoh Forgotten Plagues. I doubt you'll comprehend the true genius of this statement, but here it is nevertheless. A gadfly sees the ox pays no heed to the gadfly, but crimson fever takes them both. Need a 5? Need a 10. The events of the past are shrouded in legend, but the fate of the world is being decided here and now. That's what you fail to grasp. The earnestness of the face around you has taken away Indara's panache, encouraging her to backtrack and stumble over her words. Of course, I'm not trying to diminish the importance of the current events. What I'm trying to say is that from the standpoint of history, and particularly the history of warfare, she falls silent, fixedly staring at the unfriendly eyes in front of her. The true importance of these developments won't become obvious until later. Indara offers a pretentious dismissal. As a scholar, I cannot deny there is a certain truth beneath your sceptical statements. History is a complex discipline, rooted in fact, and an evidentiary base that grows ever more meagre the further from the described period is from present moments. Of course, if I were to argue in bad faith, the way Crusaders embellish their tales of slaying a single Brimarak by adding a dozen Balos, for example, I could win this debate, but I am above such things, and therefore, you've been doing nothing but that. I'm forced to admit that your scepticism is not entirely without merit. You changed your mind? I don't see the point. Your Crusaders appear to be quite confident in your skills. If nothing else, you're presenting your arguments to me with extreme confidence. Indara unbuckles her sword belt and hands you the weapon. This is a worthy blade. It will be of use not only for the strong but also for the wise. Got a new sword. And this is where I bid you farewell. Before the end of the day I was planning to observe how winged demons use pack tactics to drive their prey like herds of livestock. It's about time I got back to my research. The hint of a smile graces Indara's lips when she sees disappointment in the eyes of the many Crusaders around her. Stay safe. Right, let's have a look at that, shall we? Where is it? That's the question. Is that it? Klovjitska. Let's see, that is martial prowess. Flaming, nice. Enchantment +1. Finesse wielding. Ooh. 3 to 13. Oh, 1d6 +1 piercing. 1d6 fight. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Come here, you. You can't use it. You don't have short sword. 7 to 17 compared to 5 to 12. Armor check penalty -2. Oh, wait, what? Oh, no, that's the heavy shield I'm looking at there. 1920 times 2. Now, what am I wielding? Cold Iron Masterwork Longsword. Which is exactly the same as that, isn't it? Gold Iron Masterwork Longsword, yeah. That's fine. I can sell the other then. It's a light crossbow. Might as well go for a heavy. He needs to stay with his bow. You can go for a heavy. You can stick to your bow. Now, let's have a look at the bow. You got a longbow. This is composite longbow. Oh, what else have we got? This is masterwork longbow. 4 to 11 when equipped. That's just 1 to 8 when equipped, so that does a lot better. And that 1 to 8. Why is it 4 to 11 when equipped? I don't know, but he's having it. And you might as well have where are we? That's a masterwork short sword. That's a short sword, that's a quarterstaff. I can't see a time that you'd need it. You might as well have the masterwork short sword. Right. Who else do we have? Camellia. Camellia looks you over pensively, toying with snake-shaped bone amulet that dangles from her neck. Noticing your glance, she flashed you a cold, barely there smile. Greetings. Seems for a moment that the girl wants to say something else, but the pause grows too long. Tell me about yourself. You want to know more about me than you already do? Why? Camellia arches a dainty brow. I talk to the spirits of this tormented land, and they guide me in battle. I'll help you fight the demons, and I swear that you can rely on me. Yeah, that'll do for now. Time's marching on. I will check some more background stats some other time. Background information. August Worm. Here, take this. You earned it. You earned... it's the 2,000 coins or whatever. Take your payment and remember that August Worm always keeps his word. You helped me get back to the surface and I duly paid you. Yeah, you did. August looks at you with unvarnished disapproval, his arms folded across his chest, his foot tapping impatiently. I have a job for you. It'll be perfect for someone like you. Naturally, I'll pay generously. What do you mean? For an adventurer ready to sell their soul for booze and then lie down drunk in the gutter? Or do you think you're somehow different? A travelling knight, perhaps, noble of heart, but without coin to your name. August sizes you up critically, then shrugs. You seem a reliable enough ally to me. And you did get me out of those mongrel caves. So why should I care what you do with the money once you've got it? Succeeded at perception. August seems like one of those people who think the entire world owes him something. You think I didn't notice that already? That's not perception. That's not being a completely oblivious idiot. However, you hear notes of hysteria beneath his smug arrogance. It's as though he's really quite nervous. Noble birth doesn't give you the right to behave badly. I would ask that you refrain from such statements. Oh really? How impudent. No one dares tell August how to behave. What kind of reward are we talking about? Diplomacy... I'd need 13. 1,000 gold. Double it. Several tense moments pass in silence. August's face relaxes. Deal! So what does this job involve? You shall be my bodyguard. You can be my bodyguard. I will be your long lost pal. Baby, if you call me, baby, you can call me Al. Whatever it goes. I've forgotten that bloody song. Call him Marcus anyway. You shall be my bodyguard. You see, I have good reason to return to my mansion here in Canabres. I still have? Well, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business. My mansion is a breathtaking building with large garden in the wealthy part of the city. Who cares? Even before the demons attacked it, every thief and fraudster in the city had tried to get inside one way or another. I shudder to imagine what state it's in now. I have little hope that my guards will be able to... Blah, 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 blah. What do you want me to do? I already asked for the local paladins for help. What do you want me to do? Do take Camilla with you. I trust that girl. Oh, okay. So you want us to get there. Marvellous, most marvellous. Horger's face relaxes, smoothing out a few tense lines. I'll proceed to my mansion at once and wait for you there. Meanwhile, you needn't worry. I know the city like the back of my hand, but do hurry. Okay. So you want me to go over there with you? Strange figure towers over the bar. A huge, ungainly man with skin so milky white that his blue veins are visible even from this distance. His bald head is equal parts lumpy and pitted, and blood-filled eyes stare impassively out at you from beneath the pale brows. The glass in the albino's large, clumsy hands looks dangerously delicate, as if one twitch of those calloused fingers would be enough to crush it. A gold medallion engraved with a tankard gleams round his neck. What will it be? The medallion you're wearing, that sacred symbol, isn't it? Are you a cleric of Caden Kalian? I'm a tavern keeper, best in the city, best there's ever been, and I pray to the best god there is. Fair enough. Show me what you have. Alright, let's sell some crap. Keep the torches, because as I said, if we go against swarms, that's useful. Feather step, I don't care. Mage armor doesn't stack. Restoration, Shield of Faith, Scroll of Heroism. Don't need that. What's that? Bizarre reagent. Carved urn. Gold powder. Shield of Faith. Yep. Bone meal reagent. Old map. Decorated scab. Flour. Onions. Tainted fowl. Should I keep that? I'm not going to. I don't want to risk poisoning myself. I'm sure I can cook with it, but it might need cleaning first. Bear's endurance. Edible moss. Purifying solution. Necessary to clean and consume any food that is in the corrupted wastelands. Okay, mix of spices. Cooking ingredient. Potion of reduced person. Not really using them. Crooked paw. Reagent. That's fish. That's spells that I might be able to use. Fairy mushroom ×2. Yep. Reagent. Certain spells. Keep that. Smoking pipe. Reagent. Reagent. Wooden plate. Bark skin. Wooden spoon. Spider legs. Are they not a reagent or anything? Guess not. Free dancer's boot. We keep them. Scroll of prayer. That does something, doesn't it? I'm not sure what. I'm pretty sure it does because it's 13 gold. A lot of books don't sell. Bear's endurance. Lockpick. Enlarged person. Wooden mug. Don't need that. Protection from chaos. Resist fire. Inflict moderate wounds. Resist acid. Magic missile. Mage armor. It doesn't say it doesn't stack, so we'll use that. Masterwork glaive. Daggers. Clubs. Scale mail. Divine Favour. What does that actually do? I don't know what it actually does. Never mind. Hazilla's orders. Don't care. Darts. Not using them. Light mace. Not using them. Light wounds. Fine. Composite longbow. Masterwork scimitar. This is Unbreakable Heart. +1 morale bonus on saving throws. Okay. Let's see. We got heavy crossbow. We don't need any more. Light crossbow. Punching dagger. Morning star or heavy flail. Battle axe. Rapier. Quarterstaff. Masterwork warhammer. Long spear. Spear. Masterwork falcata. Dueling sword. That's a club. Oh, great club. Masterwork. Hammer. Heavy pick. Flail. Scimitar. Masterwork heavy mace. Cold iron masterwork dueling sword. Not using a dueling sword, so dwarven war axe, shield, heavy mace, banded mail, cold iron trident, shining scale, incense, remove sickness, scroll of bless, masterwork longbow, bunch of chain mail shirts. What else? Scroll of protection from law might be useful. Scroll of fire belly. Magical fire warms you, granting you. Okay, that's fine. Summon monster 1. And we have short sword. We have chain mail. We have badish. We have 6 studded armor. We have 8 leather armor. We have 4 masterwork scythe. We have bane. We have masterwork light crossbow. And we have longbow. And we will have all of those. Anything else we really need? Cure moderate wounds. Would be 6,600, but we don't have that, do we? Oh, hang on. That's what he owes us. Now we're paying him that, which is most of our money, so that will do. Crusader. Noble, peasant, citizen. Yep, some stairs, yep. 4 Autumn Haze. A tall, fragile-looking elf sits in front of you, his eyes closed. He is as pale as a ghost. His arm wrapped in blood-stained bandage. You spot other bandages on his body, but even in such a miserable state, he manages to remain calm. Raising his eyes to meet yours, he says faintly, "I am Autumn Haze at your service." His pale lips are reddened. "Do you need help?" After giving you a cold, intense look, he shakes his head. "Do not trouble yourself on my behalf. A local healer tended to me. Besides, I came from a resilient, hardy people. My body will endure both the wounds and the poison." "Who wounded you?" "A sinner and accomplice to demons. The quarry I'm hunting in this inhospitable place." "Who are you?" "My name is Fawn Autumn Maze, etc., etc. I'm Vita Morris. You can trust me. I might be able to help you. It would be impolite to refuse such direct and friendly offer." "What is your quarry here it just said, described by the name of Kaelessa. Pains me to admit that there are heinous malefactors such as her among my noble kind. I managed to catch up to her in Canabres and I wounded her. The demons appeared and the city was engulfed in flames. I was injured in the battle that ensued and couldn't free her soul from its service to the Dark Masters. Expresses no anger or hatred, he speaks only compassionate sorrow. Sorry for misfortune. I hope things will turn out differently. Percy Lips, there's no need for pity. Our ancient kind is blessed with great longevity. We gain a deeper understanding of the world than other races, and we learn our lessons better than anyone. That goes for learning from our mistakes as well. I survived, which means I will be more prepared when we meet again. I'd like to know more about you. No more questions. I wish to aid you in your hunt. Fawn covers his eyes wearily. I thank you, but this is my mission and I'm used to facing all manner of terrors on my own. I do appreciate your willingness to help. If you happen to meet Kaelessa, take caution. She has turned many innocent souls to the path of evil, and darkness has rewarded her with many gifts. Her appearance alone will tell you that. It is warped, the agate skin, the malicious stare of the blood-red eyes, the bestial teeth. I would need a straight 20, natural 20. Failed. Her skin is dark, her hair bloody, bloody, blah. So we can find her. Alright, I have to go to the basement. And we got loot and stuff. Surrender thy soul, Delvin. Emodea protectors. Got you again. How many times is that today? Take your jokes and shove them, tiefling. Oh, easy there, chief. Don't hit me. What's that? Light hammer. What's that? Won't budge. Hey, there's a lever here. If I do that lever, does that make that budgeable? Nope. There's another lever there.
Move out.
Now try. Okay, does it need to be in a certain position? Because there's two things to mess around with. Oh, there's another lever there. Hang on. Up, up, and up. Are there any more levers around? No, it's just that one. Alright, well, we got to... I'm pretty sure these levers will operate this. When they're in a certain order. Put that up. Put that down.
Head on.
Alright. Put that up. Put that down. Alright. Put that up. And we'll do two now. Put that down.
I lead.
Put that down.
Follow.
And that. Hang on, that was a different sound. Yep, we're in. Oh, we've got some kind of hat there as well. What is that one? Oh, first of all, what's the shoes as well? What's the shoes? Where are we? +2 competence bonus on saving throws against movement paired conditions. Not major, but it's something. And that is alluring charisma. She could use some charisma. Alright. 204 left. Nice.
Onward.
Right, let's have a word with this shadow
Hey,
conjurer.
Chief. Ooh, hey, gorgeous. Come over here. I want to talk to you about something. Something really important.
The young tiefling sits cross-legged on the floor. He looks relatively I'm sorry we're running late. I want to get the tavern part over with. He looks relatively calm for someone in shackles, but his tail whips back and forth in agitation. Noticing your attention, the tiefling sits up and beckons you over. Hey, Chief. Hey, gorgeous. Okay, we've done that.
Quit bothering the decent people in here, Woljif, or I'll knock your teeth out.
Nice.
What's it to you, Delvin dum-dum? You were told to guard me, and I'm not stopping you. But no one told me I had to shut my trap.
Who are you?
Woljif Jeffdo. I deal in useful things. I can get you whatever you want.
Sure you can.
Anything. But there's just one problem.
The tiefling rattles his chains and gives you a meaningful look. What do you want from
I'll
me?
lay it out for you. Simple job, 30 minutes tops. We go someplace, talk to someone, and in return, whatever you want, I'll get it for you. Some extra rations, no problem. Armor, weapons, scrolls, you name it. It's as good as yours. If you need my help with something, whistle and I'll be there. I'm handy enough with knives too, and even my magic know-how isn't too shabby.
What a load of guff. If you were good at magic, you wouldn't be stuck in here now, would you?
Don't you listen to him, Chief. He'd find fault with the Queen herself. I'll be useful to have in battle, and I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price. It's your lucky day. You won't meet another gem like me in Canabras.
See, he's more of a braggart than Lan is, but less annoying. Why are you in chains?
Does it really matter? Don't get hung up on the past, Chief. Don't look to the future.
Well, we know you're a thief.
Here and now.
Everything you've said says you're a thief, so we know that.
He was caught thieving.
Yeah, called it. Not hard, not exactly hard. Can't well chained up here. How can I free
That's
you?
easy. You know Irabeth? Feisty-looking gal, always wears armor. You can't miss her. She's the meanest fighter in the whole city. When you see her, put in a good word for me, will ya? Tell her there's this guy Woljif locked up for no good reason in the Defender's Heart. Well, for the follies of his youth. And he really wants to get out on bail so he can keep up his good behavior and make a contribution to society. Got that? Will you do it?
Alright, I'll go talk to
I
her.
knew I could count on you. Knew it the moment I laid eyes on you.
By the way, Shadow, what was that?
Get me out of here and I'll tell you. And don't worry, it's not contagious.
We'll talk later. Let's go have a word with Irabeth. Alright now. Where are we? There she is. There's a tiefling chained up in the Defender's Heart. What can you tell me about him? She shrugs scornfully. Woljif is a petty thief from a gang of thieflings operating in Canabres. That's what we call them in these parts. They tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we apprehended only one of them, and the rest managed to escape. We've nowhere else to keep him apart from in the Defender's Heart. But that's hardly a prison. Woljif knows it too. He's been begging us for days to let him go free or have someone vouch for him. He's already asked you to put in good word for him, hasn't he? Beth squints at you thoughtfully and then shrugs. If you want to recruit Woljif and put him to good use, go ahead and take him on off our guard's hands. We can ill afford to let a soldier spend their days watching over a middling thief. I hope the tiefling proves useful, should you decide to take him along. Alright, then we will go. Back down there.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me?
Woldriff is sitting in the same place with his tail impatiently batting the floor. I've talked to her the best and I've decided to make you part of my troop. We'll see how it goes.
Ah, you must be a smooth talker. Come on, Delvin. Get these bracelets of yours off me. I'm going free.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got.
Possible.
Mark my words.
Then I'll gut him.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and mean. You can't even be happy for me, can you? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. So long. And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defender's Heart, a little bird told me that big sister Charisme wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following?
Go on.
She won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest. Somehow. Let's go. I'll show you the way.
All right. Indeed, let's go. And that should be about it in here, I think. Outside we go. Oh, actually, before we do, let's sell stuff. Because we had a couple of things we picked up, didn't we? That's no good to us. That's no good to us. What's this? Half a century ago, our parents fled their homeland of Sarkoris, terrified of the invading demons. They were certain that the war would soon be over, and they didn't go too far, and found their refuge here in Canabres. They used what little savings they had to build a tavern where any crusader could get a bowl of soup and a good night's rest in exchange for some money and news about their recent victories. The city looked completely differently back then. It was a triumphant city full of hope, inspiring songs and brave paladins in shining armour. We praised Our Lady Palura openly and hoped that the lands of our ancestors would be ours once again in no time. Things have changed since then, though. Our parents have left to the Goddesses' Hall. Dresden is long gone. The world wound grows deeper every day, and the Crusaders seem to take more interest in fighting each other and us townsfolk than in eradicating demons. Holden has gone mad, and now puts all his inquisitive zeal into burning witches. Today, Canabres is a city of fear and suspicion. We even had to hide our altar of the Shimmering Maiden. Alright, so that's not particularly useful to me. Breastplates, you can have them. Bottle of oil, don't need it. Shield, don't need it. Crappy armor, don't need it. Dart, don't need it. What else? Map, don't need it. Warhammer, don't need it. Scabbard. What's that called? You can have that. Caustic mold, we keep that. We don't keep that. We don't keep that. We don't keep the horseshoe. We don't keep the Tian, whatever. All right. $24 points left. Oh wow. Wish there was a way to get that 24 right now, but I guess not. So that's where we leave it for today. Links around to other gameplays you might enjoy. Give them a try. There's a like and a sub. If you use them, you help the channel grow. And likewise, if you drop us a line in comments, I'll respond. This has been Yorkie. And Chihuahua back here. I actually decided to show his on screen for once. So, on. Bye now.